When she kisses him, he remembers. It's as if his past lives come flooding back to him, much like when we remember who we are by knowing all is love. Welcome to another episode of True Love Talks. Today, I want to continue on my previous video. This is a bit of an interjection into the series that I will be posting regarding this duality realm and good versus bad. What I want to address in this particular talk is the idea of things that are objectively bad. What I am trying to convey is a means for people who have suffered traumatic events to process them and to make sense of them and to elevate themselves out of the suffering that that event caused. In no way am I calling bad things good, and in no way am I calling good things bad.
But you know what Buddha taught? He says that all of these aspects have a positive as well as a negative, and we'll see that as we go along in his teachings. We say, how could there be anything positive about hell? The reason that there's something positive about hell is because without hell, according to Shakyamuni Buddha, you could never know what happiness is. You'd never know.
When bad things happen, these things trigger within us an emotional response, typically a negative one. If it triggers a positive one, you're likely suffering from a personality disorder. But this is an indicator your body creates to tell you that you're experiencing something that you don't like. It's merely a warning sign for you to pay attention to what is happening so you can take action and do something about it so you no longer suffer. If you do not take action, the suffering will get worse. I know there's a lot of people who have suffered horrible things in their lives. And a lot of these events that happen in the world, yes, we can look at them and say they're horrible things. This is a trauma center. This world is created out of heartbreak. This world is a duality zone. And so we have this us versus them mentality, whether it's within yourself or outside of yourself, projection, blame, all of the events that happen here that are perceived as bad, they stem from heartbreak. They stem from pain. Hurting people hurt people. The reason bad things happen here is so that we can look at these bad things and not do them anymore. So when you're in a situation where something traumatic is happening, it's hell. It's pure hell. It's awful. And even the perpetrator is suffering, and it's torment and hell for them. And the person who's acting out this horrible thing is acting it out because they're tormented inside. They are expressing their inner hell. It's just something that they have to do here. It's part of the purging process. So I'm going to tack on here a clip from Bill Donahue, who was talking about the hell mindset, and it adds to what I'm saying here.
What Buddha said is that in each person there are 10 personalities, and he called them the 10 worlds. And here's what they are. And you might want to write them down. There's hell, there's hunger, there's animal, there's anger, there's tranquility, there's the next one, which a lot of Christians think that they coined this expression. Well, they didn't. It's Buddhist, strictly Buddhist. It's called rapture. It's one of the 10 worlds of Buddha is rapture. Then there's learning, there's realization, and finally, there is what is called bodhisattva. And bodhisattva is simply giving to others, sharing with others, reaching that consciousness where your whole life is consumed with helping other people. And then what we call Christ consciousness, it's Buddhahood, reaching the kingdom of God. Okay, and those are the 10 worlds. And what he said was that every human being alive has these 10 worlds working within their consciousness. And in your experience, one of these worlds predominates in you. See, and so the interesting part about Buddha is what he showed is for instance, if you have this world predominating in you, and maybe this world is the second strongest, it will react with this one, and then the third strongest or whatever. And so you put these combinations together, and you get a very complex thing about the human psyche. And this is what Buddha understood, and this is what he taught. A misunderstood and maligned person in the West was this word that came from what we call God or Godhood, which was through Shakyamuni Buddha. And we're going to look at the first world today, which is the world of hell. And when we look at the world of hell, you're looking at a degree of consciousness. You know, in other words, what he said is that this is in everybody. That personality, what we call hell, is in every human being.
So I don't want you to think that the event itself is a good thing. It is not. It is a horrible, negative, dark way of expressing oneself. It's a horrible, dark way of people trying to get their needs met. Because we live in an insane asylum. I've heard so many times these therapists say that everybody here could do with some therapy. So if everybody here could do with therapy, what does that say about the state of the world? What does that say about the people in it? So I can understand it's very difficult for people who have suffered from a traumatic event. And it doesn't even have to be something violent. It can just be something emotionally violent. It can be something that just messed them up. Somebody was really mean to them. They were bullied, badly bullied, and it messed them up. It hurt them deeply. Everybody's trauma is going to be different, but everybody here has suffered trauma because we live in a trauma center. And I'm not saying that it's good. I'm just trying to explain to you the nature of this place, why it is the way that it is, and how to process it so that you can get your consciousness out of that mindset. Because that's what you really want. The reason you're asking about why bad things happen here is because you don't want the bad things to happen anymore. But if you're looking outside of yourself for a solution, it's not going to come. If you're looking for Jesus to save you, if you're looking for aliens to come rescue you, you're looking for someone to come and whisk you away and sweep you off your feet with romance and love, it's not going to happen. Because all of the problems lie within you. And you need to resolve what's going on within you.
And how does it describe this which is hell? The wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget God. It's an indication of consciousness. Forgetting God is forgetting yourself, forgetting who you are, forgetting what your place is in this universe. And that is where the wicked then go. That's the place. You have to understand something. You're defining by using a word, a feeling in your own mind. As long as you were frightened of the possibility of going to some horrible place, you then would come and let them save you. And that you can really prosper that way. See, the only way to stay out of hell is to come here, then everybody comes here. But when you understand what Buddha said, the only way to stay out of hell is to turn around and look at yourself, it's a whole different thing. Because then you're not looking at a church, or you're not looking at a denomination or an institution, you're looking at yourself and how to deal with this thing called hell.
So regardless of the severity of the trauma that has impacted your life, everybody has suffered trauma. Some have suffered more than others. The bottom line is that you need to turn it around. You need to heal. This is such a sensitive issue, and I don't even know that I want to continue this topic, because trying to explain this topic, there's always someone who's going to point at something horrific and say, but what about this? But what about this? Don't worry about this or that or the other thing that has nothing to do with your own life. Look at your own life. It's like if you are pointing at something horrific and trying to use that as an excuse, what is the excuse you're trying to use it to serve? You're trying to use it as an excuse to put the blame elsewhere. It's not black and white. It's never going to be black and white. Yeah, I can just hear there's going to be people who are like, yeah, but look at this. This is evil. And are you saying that this is a good thing? Which is just absurd. I am not saying that these nasty, horrible things are a good thing. I am acknowledging that there are bad things that happen here. All I've ever said is there are bad things that happen here. It's what you do with it that matters. If you perpetuate your suffering and continue to inflict suffering on yourself and others as a result of what happened to you because you are using it as an excuse, and if you haven't healed from it, it is going to be used as an excuse. And we all do it until you are able to forgive yourself and forgive others. So all I can say is that this dualistic world of us versus them, or red versus blue, or black versus white, has to collapse. You have to be able to see that they're two sides of the same coin. That you need to understand that everything here happens in divine perfection. And a lot of the horrible things that we see are fake. Then there are the things that are horrible that happen in your own life. If you are living in the lower mind, if you are in the hell mind, you're going to speak into existence hellish things. You're going to experience hellish things because you are in that mind state. It's not fun, but you need to get into a state of awareness as to why these things are happening and how to get out of it. People generally don't stay in that lower mindset all the time. They oscillate up the scale. And there are some people who are chronically depressed, mentally ill, can't get beyond this hellish nightmare perspective, who have a narcissistic mindset, who inflict pain on other people because they don't see them as people, they see them as objects. Everything that they do is self-serving. Everything that everybody here does is to serve their own needs. And when you're heartbroken and you're in pain, the expression that comes out is dark and nasty. I don't know how much I want to talk about this subject because it is such a hot button for people, but it does need to be addressed and it does need to be resolved. People do need to understand how to escape this duality mindset, how to get out of the lower consciousness, how to stop blaming the external and pointing fingers at things outside of themselves as an excuse for why their own life is in a bad state. When you merge the opposites and you see with the single eye, you see everything as singular, then you're not tugged on either side. You're not participating in the duality battle, which is where you need to be. That's all I'm trying to say. And it's not easy to explain in a way that reaches people who are unable to see their way out of the duality battle. I hope it's helping somebody. Even if it helps one person get out of it, that'd be great. If you like this video, please show your support for my channel. Like, share, subscribe, comment, contribute. Contributions over $15 will receive a link to the Johnny Depp Dark Shadows material, so please be sure to include your email address. Kindly visit my website, subscribe to my backup channels, join the Discord group. All links are in the description box below. Thanks for listening. Hope you're having a great day. Bye for now.